Hello everyone, welcome to this getting started tutorial for EOS Tower Defense. In this video we're going to talk about the round timeline and why it's so important to have your clock synced with the blockchain. If we look at the left side of this timeline, you see that all of the rounds begin with this join phase. After that expires, you get a chance to study the enemies that are coming up. Then you get a chance to configure each of the 4 towers that you'll have to fight against the enemies. Once all of the tower configuration is done, you're given a chance to submit those configuration options. And then after that time expires, the round essentially ends. That expiration time is hit, and we set a new expiration time, and then this starts all over again. The reason why it's so important to have your clock in sync is basically this. Consider the fact that if you have your clock set 30 seconds behind, let's say, if it's 30 seconds behind, then by the time you reach the submission time, you might see the submit button, but really this round is already ended. So you'll be sitting there trying to submit, but you're submitting to a round that's already over and the contract's going to deny it. You won't be able to submit. So that's one bad thing. If your clock is 30 seconds fast, then what's going to happen is you're going to reach this enemy study time and the tower config times 30 seconds prior to when you're supposed to. And by the time you see it, these enemies won't even be created yet because in order to make sure that the game is as fair as possible, these enemies and these tower options are only set just before the UI is going to display them. So if you're seeing them way ahead of time, you're actually going to see nothing. They're going to be empty. And then it's going to move to the next one and it's going to be empty. So it's super critical that you have your time set in sync with the chain so that you see these at the appropriate times. And I'm going to show you why or basically it's so important that the game will actually block you. So if you start up the game, and then once we reach the opening menu, you see it does a check with the time or the check with the chain to see if your time matches or not, or if it's close. And if it's more than 4 seconds out of sync, it's going to pop this message and tell you, hey, your clock's not in sync. Here's how to fix it. And the way we do that is you just click this link. It'll bring up an article that talks about, hey, in Windows 10, you can set your time automatically. If you're running a previous or prior version of Windows, you can still do a similar option. For this one, it'll actually open your settings for you. Hit Open Settings. We see that we have the option to set the time automatically. If we turn that on, you can see it swap my time. We switch back, and it's now fixed, and we have a play button. That's the basics, or the basic requirement for entering the game is that the time is synced, and that's how to fix it. Thanks a lot, guys. Until next time, goodbye.